Griffith is the best character.
I lied, it's Puck.
Look at his little face! I love his cheeks, bro. They're so pinchy! I have a few deeper thoughts on the Casca and Guts situation, especially since the Skull King told Guts that the fetus was his. But I'm just gonna go over to the lighthearted stuff, because I think we've all been depressed enough from the events of the eclipse. When we get more information about the fetus, then I'll probably talk more about it. It's not like I ever really hated Guts, I just didn't really care much for his personality. But knowing his backstory, I always understood his personality. And I'm really starting to warm up to him now just because this world is so fucked up that we kind of need a guy like Guts who just wants to kill all evil demons. So let's go find a sword that's going to help us do that. We ended up finding a blacksmith who was able to create a sword for us, but Guts ended up breaking that. So we just decided to use the one that was hanging up on the wall.
I'm taking that wall sword, old
Bunch
man.
of new characters. First we got this holy knight girl. She seems like she's on a mission for the church. So we got these missionaries coming to this land. We casually run into this girl named Jill who was kidnapped by a bunch of bandits in the forest. These bandits were gonna kill her in a brutally mental way I don't even want to explain. And Guts and Puck, I want to say Puck actually did most of the work in saving Jill. So they saved her and he took her back to her village. Jill ran away from home because her father was very abusive to her and her father's war buddies were very, very abusive to her. And her mother was quite complacent in all of it, so she just ran away from home. While we're being introduced to everybody in the village, people are freaking out over my boy Puck just sitting there being cute as fuck. And they explain to us a story about how there's a place called the Misty Valley off to the east of this village where there's a ton of these elves, but they're a little bit different than Puck. They're still cute, but they're a little bit more vicious. They're like if mosquitoes had superpowers and were able to punch a hole through your body. The mosquitoes have come to the village to attack, and they're going to kill everybody, but Guts realizes that these mosquito elves are really attracted to kids. So he kidnaps this kid and runs away to get alone with them, and he takes him to a barn and just turns him into fucking peanut butter. Jill explains that she recognizes the queen, that she might be her friend who ran away to the Misty Valley a long time ago because she was also being abused. So I think that might be the queen. Yep, that's the queen. So she proposes to let her become an elf so they can hang out forever and ever. And I have to say, if they offered me to become an elf, I would have immediately thought, oh, I could just hang out with Puck all the time. I would have just said yes, just straight off. I'll finish up with the rest of this side quest on Tuesday. But if you like my 3-minute Berserk reviews, follow up. I try to keep it 20 chapters every Tuesday and Friday. But just to speedrun a couple things, this church girl was actually on a mission to find Guts. She thinks that he's a culprit in the missing children case. It was probably the elves. And I know I'm going overtime, but I just want to quickly explain why I love Puck so much. Puck represents everything innocent in this world, but he's still willing to understand things that he's maybe not gone through. Guts, Griffith, and Casca were very innocent in the world at one point, but things happened to them and they responded very violently. Puck will usually run away if things get violent or crazy, but if it's to protect somebody who's also innocent, he will put his life on the line to actually go and do something about it. Even though he can't necessarily defend himself very